Hello everyone. Welcome to the session on 1 2 2023. Welcome to Rajkumar Academy. So now the first most important issue is this yesterday economic survey was released by the government and the first article is also about the economic survey because whenever the budget and economic survey comes into picture that becomes very important for us. So what does the economic survey says? GDP is going to grow at 6.5% in 2023-2024. Because in economic survey, if you get any numbers, it is important for us guys. We need to study them at any cost. The economic survey expects India's economic recovery to be resilient in the coming financial year, aided by steady decline in inflation. So, guys, before budget, economic survey is being released, which tries to give us how exactly the last economic year was and how exactly the future we are going to predict, and they will also discuss about a few things like should we introduce certain schemes, what is the benefits, what is the problem, like this. So now when we look at this particular economic survey, what is given here, so they try to say that coming year is going to have 6 to 6.5%, and India will be the largest growing economy when it comes to developing countries, and India would continue to grow. We would try to control inflation, right? Where inflation needs to be controlled until the basics is. That is like it they aim that it should be somewhere less than 6. So these aspects will be explained to you in detail in the economic survey videos made from the institution itself. So, whatever is there in the newspaper, from that point of view, I'll try to elaborate few aspects, guys, because for the next 5 to 10 days, either about the budget or economic survey, you will be getting good number of news. 1.56 lakh crore GST mop up in Jan 2nd, like highest so far in Jan, second highest so far. GST collections are increasing in the country, guys, which is an indication that economy is doing well. Right? GST is associated with services, goods. So if that tax is increasing, that means economy is performing much better. So that would help Indian government, both state and central government, to work towards the benefits of the country. AP capital will be shifted to Vizag in a few months, Jagan. Is they want to make Vishakhapatnam as the capital. Normally, what is the role of a capital, guys? If you look at political terms, it is a place where all the MLAs will meet. Correct? Second important thing is it is a place where, like court will be present. Uh, you will have almost all the administrative works, and normally it is believed that the capital has to be at the center so that people from all the sites can come and they can visit that. Second important thing, they should have some river. So if you have river, what is going to happen? Water facilities and others will be easily dealt with. Now, if you take Andhra Pradesh, Vishakhapatnam is in one corner of Andhra Pradesh. So, when you have it in one corner, people from all other parts visiting Vishakhapatnam would become extremely difficult, right? So, let us see how exactly things will work out. But yeah, so if you ask me, the criticism wise, yes, this is the criticism. But positive things are normally anywhere in the world, port based economy will flourish. So, port will be chosen as the most important city and the capital as well. So, because of this, what is going to happen? Wherever ports are there, people have a tendency to build cities there as well. So, from that point of view, if we look, yes, Vishakhapatnam can be a good choice. Bangladeshis enter Meghalaya polls as parties target TMC. So Bangladesh is having border with Meghalaya, and many illegal migrants from Bangladesh normally enters into most of the northeastern states, including Meghalaya. Now TMC, which is in West Bengal, is blamed of allowing Bangladeshi illegal migrants to come and settle in West Bengal, and now if they are trying to contest elections in Meghalaya, then other political parties are saying that this is going to bring lot of Bangladeshi illegal migrants to India and they will allow them to settle. Northeast is so fragile that if you allow any other communities to come and settle in the region, then they won't accept it. So these are all politics, guys. Adani will continue for a while, and LIC has given ad mainly because of its criticism with respect to Adani. So these are all the things which keeps on going. The economic survey that was not. See, guys, this is an article written by Congress party worker. He says that this economic survey is not so beneficial. It is not talking about any arguments. It has just given what Modi government has done and what other governments has not done. So it is not beneficial for us to study from this. So this is what the article wants to tell. Don't waste your time in reading it. Policy folly. Pakistan needs a paradigm shift in its approach to terrorism. See, guys, when it comes to terrorism, Pakistan coined a new term called as good terrorism and bad terrorism. What was good terrorism? Anyone who supports Pakistan, anyone who attacks India, they used to call it as good terrorism. The one who do not support India, the one who do not like fight, the one who do not support Pakistan, the one who do not fight India, that will be called as bad terrorism. Now, in Taliban itself, Pakistan tried to create this division: good terrorist and bad terrorist. Unfortunately, whomever they called good terrorists, within them there are some groups who are trying to attack them. One most important group in that is Tehreek-e-Taliban. This Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan wants to bring the same sort of government that Taliban has brought in Afghanistan. What is their main goal? To kill Shias in Pakistan and ensure that Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, which is Sunni dominant in Pakistan, is having Pakistan Sunni population only. What Taliban wanted to do to Afghanistan, now Tehreek-e-Taliban wants to do it with Pakistan. So if this is the case, what exactly are we going to see? Right? So the article tries to say that you need to have a fundamental policy shift. Until and unless you have that policy shift, you are the one who is going to suffer because Pakistan has more than 100 people killed today due to the terror attack. Solar energy is not the best option for India. Yeah, it's a very interesting article, guys. Solar energy is considered to be the free energy that we get. Now, when I look at other energy sources is, let us say, coal based energy. How does it work? I have coal, I'll burn it, right? I'll keep a tumbler, I'll keep water. Water will become water vapor. The vapor will rotate the turbine. Turbine will generate electricity stored in a battery. So normally this will be continuous. Whereas if you take solar panels, what is going to happen? Sun's rays will fall, water get heated, and then the electricity has to be generated. So normally it is discontinuous. Solar energy is discontinuous, whereas coal based energy is continuous. Now this is our renewable energy, this is our non renewable energy, and due to climate change and other factors, we are all thinking to come out of this and move towards solar energy. Whereas China is trying to move from thermal power plants to hydro power plants. So China on one side is moving for hydroelectricity, whereas India on the other hand is moving towards solar energy. So one of the major problem with solar energy is the battery cost and all. When it comes to what you call as China, China is focusing on hydropower projects which will be continuous and which will benefit it in the long run. Whereas India, after Joshimath and all other issues, we are not sure how exactly should we go for hydropower projects. China and all are constructing huge hydropower projects, whereas India is more worried because the environmentalists have criticized that you should not go for hydroelectric power projects in India, which would be extremely costly and it may lead to earthquakes and all. And India's environment is more fragile. We should be careful. So because of this, India is not entering into hydropower projects. This is a very good article, guys. Nothing much to write, but just remember that solar energy also has certain demerits. Shifting completely to solar energy is not a viable option. The quest for hope in Myanmar. Guys, beside India, there is a country called Myanmar where there is always fight going on between the military and democracy. Initially, India used it to support democracy, but now India deals with whoever is in power. And this Myanmar military gets a support from China, and now Russia is also trying to support them. Whereas when it comes to India, India is also supporting the military. India is not supporting Rohingyas. India is not supporting anyone else. India is also supporting what we call as the military regime itself. Myanmar is part of ASEAN, guys. And ASEAN countries together they plan that let us protect Myanmar. But Myanmar military is not ready to accept. So guys, these are all internal issues of Myanmar and all. And if you people have read international relations, understanding these would be easier. Else, don't waste your time on this. Be secular. Supreme Court on plea on party names with overtones of fate. Guys, if you see certain names, you see Indian Union Muslim League, Asaduddin Owaisi's All India Majlis Ittihadul Musliman, right? All these look that they are completely towards one particular religion and they are not towards secularism. That is where the question is. Don't take up data bill till house debates at center. Yes, even now the government has not concluded about the data protection bill, and by that time itself, the cases have been registered against it in Supreme Court. So the center is telling that till we at least pass the bill, please don't look into it completely. This is why we also tell until and unless a bill is passed, UPSC will not ask question. So please don't come to conclusions with respect to that. DMK CPIM demand withdrawals of circulars on higher pension. Decisive government working with lofty ambitions, President. Guys, in the budget session, the first speech will be by the President, followed by others. Right, the other sessions would continue. So now, when the President speaks, it will be the voice of the government. So obviously, the criticism and all will be there. World is looking at India's budget. Out of pocket health spending still high despite government chipping in. Yes, even though India has Ayushman Bharat and other schemes, there are a lot of things that people spend on with respect to money. Even after government spending huge money, there is lot of money that private people, that is individuals, are spending. Makes sense, right? uh, why don't people spend money? People will definitely spend money because, there are many issues that come. There is regular fever, regular issues of cough, cold and all to children and all. So everything is not covered under Ayushman Bharat. People definitely will go to private clinics and all, and that would increase. So we should make, the government hospitals having more capacity, which may reduce the money, but in whatever earnings we have, health definitely takes a bit. Shipbuilding industry can bolster Atmanirbhar Bharat, says survey. Is when we go for shipbuilding industry, closer to that we need iron and steel industry. Along with that, certain other automobile industries would come, spare parts industries would come. So shipbuilding industry can act as a growth pole or growth center. Around that, all other industries would come, which leads to economic development of that entire area. So the economic survey is trying to tell us that Atmanirbhar Bharat, right, will be successful if we focus on shipbuilding industry. India needs access to global finance to achieve climate obligations on emissions. See, guys, India has made lot of targets with respect to climate change. And if we need to achieve all those, we need money, which the developed countries are actually giving. Yeah. So, guys, India and US are having talks. India, US, groups from Indian side, you have NSCA. On the US side, you have US India Business Council. They're all meeting together with respect to critical and emerging technologies, and they're all discussing about what measures should be taken by us to ensure that there is some sort of connectivity, right? So India and US are working together because this year they are going to meet in G7. They're again going to meet in G20, right? So when they are meeting in G7, G20, so what is going to happen? You will normally have meetings going on between India and US, and people are more concerned about the issues that are going to come, especially with respect to Russia. So now we have several challenges. One is China, another one is Russia. Both the countries want to come together to fight against this. Fine. See guys, mosque blast tall hits 100. Pak blames security lapse. Western allies differ over jets for Ukraine as Russia claims gains in the east. So the issues continue between Russia and Ukraine. Pakistan has blamed security lapse rather than blaming India because Pakistan always says it is India which is attacking them. So guys, December economy has grown much better. Electric vehicle sales are also increasing. Fine. Nothing much to write, guys. These are all generalized articles that we need to analyze. That's it. Thank you, guys.